Hey guys, welcome back. So today I am going to be using some simple things. I'm going to be using my mechanical pencil, my dirty eraser. I'll also be using my Copic markers and a white gel pen over my beautiful halftone paper. A few months ago, I saw the newest Wreck-It Ralph, which is Ralph Breaks the Internet. And the entire time I was watching it, I was thinking about how Vanellope would be in a magical girls show, like Madoka or something. And so on my drawing list for ideas, I jotted down Vanellope as a magical girl. But I'm not terribly comfortable drawing like small children. So I'm actually going to be changing that up a little bit. I'm making Vanellope probably 10 or 15 years older. And also, I figured this would actually be a good opportunity to continue my previous series about dressing up heroines in the hero's gear. So this is going to be Vanellope in some kind of a magical action-y pose, wearing Ralph's ridiculous suspenders. I'm going to have some glitched out stuff going on as well around her hands, and probably a few other places of her body. So at first I was kind of thinking of having her leg actually behind the other leg, and then I was like, what if we did more of a superhero pose, where she's kind of got this dominating shoulders width apart sort of stance, but I couldn't really decide. So in the end of it all, I decided instead to have this midair pose. So a few other things I had to think about when I was creating this were her hand poses. I was trying to find a good merger between the childish behavior of Vanellope, but also the kind of elegance and over-the-top hand positioning that magical girls have. And so in the end, we ended up with crowd claws! No, in the end, we ended up with this sort of effortless splaying of the fingers on her left hand, and in her right, she's kind of wielding the power of the glitch. Now, my sketch is all done, so it's time to refine. As per usual, my very first step is to come up with a good expression for the character. I know a lot of people like to start with their character clothing or bodies, but I find I have a much more effective and cohesive piece of art if I begin with the expression on their face. Because fun fact, I do this embarrassing thing where if I have a character who is frowning, I can draw for 2 or 3 hours and then discover that, hey, my face hurts. Turns out it's because I've been frowning the whole time. So number one, I enjoy drawing happy characters because it doesn't hurt my face as much, but it also helps me to interpret the character a lot better. It probably sounds weird, but I mean, think about it. If you are seeing somebody and let's say that their face is covered up by shadow, besides being mad creepy, that also kind of hides their intentions from you, right? You're left wondering, are they smiling? Which would kind of be creepy anyway, or are they crying? Or are they looking at me? Like, human faces and expressions are important. So now that I'm decently satisfied with this first draft of her face, I'm moving on to the clothing. As you can see, I buttoned up her top a little bit more, and I'm also working on the half-on suspenders. Now I understand that that could also be a sexualization thing in some pieces, but I was just kind of trying to follow what Ralph has, and he is sort of portrayed as being this big lug, but he's a total sweetheart, and he also doesn't apparently know how to put on clothes very well. So she's basically cross-playing right now. As I finish up these clothes here, I'm gonna get to work on these glitches. So I'm not completely sure how I'm gonna execute these actually. I'm gonna try and do them without my actual micron pen, which I'm gonna be using for inking. And instead I'm going to jump straight into my Copic markers to see if I can kind of give the glitches a little bit more of a intangible texture of some kind. But I digress. These are all of the tools I'm going to be using from here on out. From left to right, we've got my white gel pen, my Copics, and my precious micron. So let's get started on inking. Now, would it be slightly less nerve-wracking if I were to save the face for last after I've already gotten warmed up on inking the clothing and other parts of the body so that I'm not as nervous since I haven't inked for like 3 weeks? Yes. But would I be happier in the long run if I did that? Also yes. But I would have it hanging over my head, and that's unacceptable. So first things first, her face. Oh, okay, this was a cute idea, I think. So this was something I didn't actually have in the initial sketch, but if you've seen Wreck-It Ralph 2, then you know what this necklace is about. Basically, in the movie, Ralph gives Vanellope this little, actually it's not little, it's pretty sizable heart cookie necklace thing that she wears to symbolize their undying platonic love for one another. So I thought that it was a good idea to put that in here because it's kind of like a cute little Easter egg. Also, I apologize, I cannot draw without rotating my canvas slash sketchbook slash computer tablet. I seriously can't, so that's why I keep on rotating it, and hopefully you guys are able to keep up and it's not making you seasick. I am going to get into weighting some of my lines, but first I'm going to finish up general lines, and then I really want to test out my theory that my Copics will not work for these glitches, but there's only one way to find out. I'm just saying that in the past when I have tried to go over pencil with Copic marker, it does not turn out well. Yeah, I'm not happy with this already. I'm hoping I can do some kind of a reflective or glowy or texturized look with my white gel pen, but it's doubtful. Anyway, while I think more on those glitches and how best to execute them, I'm going to finish off erasing the rest of my sketch layer, and I'm going to start doing my weighted lines because that makes me feel a little bit better about my failures. I know, that was so brief, but I'm trying not to overdo it with the weighted lines because I am going to be coloring with my Copic markers now, so hopefully I can still give it some dimension without going overkill with my line weight. Moving on to Copics now, I really should probably get some other colors besides gray. I think I've been saying that since my first video in November, actually. But seriously, I probably should get different colors besides just gray, especially for characters like Vanellope. I was actually thinking of going out and buying like some sparkly gel pens to portray the candy in her hair as being really glint-y and gleaming, but I decided that it would pull away way too much from this kind of black and white aesthetic I've got going on right now. And I think that this is gonna continue to be a thing. I might just wind up switching it up between my Arteza brush pens, colored pencils, and my grayscale Copic markers on halftone paper. Unless you guys have a preference. If you guys really like me coloring or just really like the black and white or whatever, please let me know, because that way I can continue to make videos exclusively or mostly with those. Or at least for the series I'm working on, I can do that. So maybe if you guys would rather have the fairy tale characters be, you know, all pyrography, or if you'd rather have any future heroine dressed as hero series videos in color like I did with Esmeralda and Phoebus, or something like that. Just let me know. Also, if you guys have any other suggestions for heroines dressed as heroes, please let me know. I really like doing these. These are super fun. So as much as I love my grayscale markers, this gray is beautiful and juicy and everything, but it is not a good midtone for me. I just want something between the last marker I used and this one, and I'm gonna have to buy that separately, I'm sure. But anyway, I'm gonna move on and I'm gonna start working with this gel pen, and while I subconsciously am freaking out about the possibility of it not working with the glitches, I am pretty happy with how shiny her hair and her candy is turning out. I don't like how these glitches are coming out. See, I'm trying to overcompensate here. That's what happens with me. I see that something's not quite working and I'm like, well, let's add to it and see if that helps. It never helps, but I never learn. Anyway, guys, that will be it for me this week. I'm sorry that this video is a tiny bit late. I had to finish editing actually on Tuesday. Normally I finish on Monday, but I have been swamped. So, Thank you guys so much for watching. I can't wait to see you guys next week, and please let me know if you have any other ideas for this heroines dressed up as heroes thing. Also, of course, let me know what you think of the final product. You can see all of my social media below, and remember, I am open for orders on Etsy. Thank you for tuning in. Till next time.